Hey YouTube, it's John from Team Kickass again. We're gonna do a deck profile on my Hero Beat deck now, so hopefully you guys will like it. Leave some comments down below. Criticism's always needed. So, alright, one Stratos because he searches all your heroes and he's pretty much the main card in the deck. You always want to get to him. Three Neos Alias because they're lights, they're heroes, and they're Gemini Spark targets, and you can go into Shining afterwards. So he's a pretty good out to a lot of things, and he's a 1900 beater. I play one Ice Edge. A lot of people don't play this, but I like having the option to be able to discard to make a Miracle Fusion live, and then attacking directly to get rid of a back row. Because if they leave themselves open and then I summon this and their back row is a warning, they better use it because I'm just going to get rid of it anyway. One Evocator because he's a fire target and a Gemini target, so he helps me make Nova Master. Now we're going to anti-meta part, two Thunder Kings because it pretty much wrecks everything in this format, because all decks do when you think about it now. The first two turns of the duel is just adding things to your hand. So it stops fairies and it stops Karakuris, and that's all I really have to worry about with this deck. Main deck one Cyber Dragon, mostly for Karakuris, and it's just a good anti-meta card. So one Snowman Eater, again for Karakuri matchup. Not so much fairies. I usually side this out because they have the Hyperion. So yeah, and one Honest because I run a shit ton of lights, so that's good. And he's a 1900 defender for like a first turn play or something. And one Veiler. So that's it for the monsters. There's 12. Onto the spells. I play 3 Pot of Duality, as any main deck, or as any anti-meta deck does. 3 Miracle Fusion. Some people only play 2. I like 3. Somehow it's always live, so I actually don't draw it enough, I feel, so I like it at 3. One Super Poly in the main because, like I was talking about Karakuris and Fairies earlier, they both have favorable attributes for me to Super Poly with. So when Karakuris try to do their OTK with their Synchro, I just Super Poly away the first one and they can't go off. And I get a free Elemental Hero. So one Rhoda and 2 E-Calls because you need to get the monsters to your hands fast, and it thins out your deck. 3 Gemini Sparks because you get to destroy one of their cards that you're worried about and you get to draw. And I have Goku, the Hulk, and Captain America, so hooray for drawing on cards. Staples, Monster Reborn, Dark Hole, Heavy Storm, and MST. I only play one MST in Heroes because the back row doesn't hurt as much, and you have the Gemini Sparks if you're really worried about it. So it's cool when they go bottomless on Alias, and I just chain Gemini Spark and I get to draw, and then it makes my Hero Blast live. So that's it for the spells. I have 17 of those. Next, we'll move on to traps. 1 Solemn Judgment, 1 Solemn Warning, 2 Dark Bribes. I mentioned in my GB video, you have to know how to play Dark Bribe. A lot of people hate on the card, but I mean, if you Dark Bribe something dumb, then yeah, you're just giving your opponent hand advantage. But if you use it on a card that's actually going to hurt you in a good spot, then Dark Bribe's a very useful card. So yeah, 2D Prisons for monster removal, Torrential for monster removal. I know this deck is about field advantage, and you want to keep your beaters on the board the whole game, but it really stops Karakuris dead in their tracks and fairies, which are the 2 biggest things in my locals. 2 Skill Drains, because it stops pretty much everything in the meta right now. Everything runs on effects, always has. 2 Hero Blasts, because Fairies and Karakuris have to summon a whole bunch of these little small monsters before they get their big ones out. So Hero Blast gives me 2 pluses, or at least the way I think about it, because I get rid of their monster and I get to add a monster to my hand. So yeah. And then the last trap is Trap Dust Shoot, and I always side this out game 2. So yeah. There were 12 traps there, and it's a 41 card deck total. Now I'll go on to my extra deck. 1 Dragonite Draco Quest, for the people that are actually dumb enough to play Stardust against my hero build. 2 Shinings. I want to bump this up to 3, but nobody at my locals has them for trade right now, so We should have a trade binder up soon as well, so yeah. 2 absolute zeros. Thinking about bumping this up to 3, but I only play 2 waters. My build isn't as focused on this as other ones are. Since I don't have the 3 shinings, I do play 2 great tornadoes because there are a few decks out there that use wind attributes, and the Plane Engine has a couple of wind attribute things in there too, so that's always good. The 1 Nova Master for when I need hand advantage, or need to try to gain hand advantage back. The 1 Gaia, and then I play Vision Hero, Adoration, and Trinity because I'm always messing with my side deck, and sometimes I side into the Fusion Gate build, and it's really easy to make them in that, and also Super Poly for the hero matchup. The 1 Chimera Tech because I do main deck Cyber Dragon, so I can afford to put him in the main extra deck. Plus, the extra deck space is pretty loose, so yeah. And then my 3 Synchros because I do play Monster Reborn. So Trishula, Brionic, and Gataster, because I feel like those are the 3 most important Synchros other than the Stardust. Alright, I actually will show my side deck in this video, because I need some constructive criticism. And I don't just bash it and be like, oh, that's bad, so... another Cyber Dragon, because Karakuris suck, and I usually side out to Duality for this. 2 DD Survivors, I guess that gives away what the rest of my side deck has to do with. 1 Breaker, because I don't side the second MST, I side this instead because I feel like he's a 1900 beater, so he goes with the theme of the deck, and it baits out things like Solemn Warning and Bottomless and stuff. 1 DD Crow, because I like having this in the hand, it's another hand trap you can play. The second Super Poly in my side, because heroes have a favorable matchup against the main meta decks this format, so 2 D Fissures to go along with the DD Survivor because macro screws up fairies, and it doesn't hurt me because of the 2 Parallel World Fusions I side. Also, if somebody's dumb enough to side macro in on me, I can just do the Parallel World Fusion and they don't know what hit them, but I don't think anybody's really that dumb anymore. 1 Macrocosmos because you can chain it to things. Starlight Road for when I side into these extra trap cards. 2 Mind Crushes because, like I said earlier in the video, I was thinking about main decking these because, like I said, the first 2 turns of the duel were nothing but setup. So, I mean, you set these against fairies and they build up their whole hand and you just bam. Or I was playing Gravekeepers the other day and he added Necro Valley and I Mind Crushed him and got rid of all 3. So, that was pretty cool. And 1 Light Imprisoning Mirror. And I know I do main deck the skill drains, but it's just good to have that extra card that you can get to. And skill drain doesn't negate Engrave, whereas this does. So, yeah. Anyway, that's my Hero Beat deck profile. I hope you guys like it. Leave some criticism down below, and Team Kickass out.